Sure, you can grill up a steak anytime you want to, but if you want to be the envy of your neighbors, throw some great steaks down on the cast iron skillet and butter baste them. Today I'll show you how. One of the secrets, lots of pepper to create a crust. So cover both of those steaks on one side, then you're going to set them aside to get to room temperature. We're going to be cooking on a cast iron skillet with olive oil because we like that taste. Make sure it's coated really well, and when it's sizzling hot, put your steaks down with the pepper side down. Depending on your pan and the heat, you're going to have to watch your steak and make sure you don't overcook the first side, but make sure you leave it there long enough to create that crust. And while you're at it, coat the other side of the steak. I use a spoon to spread out the pepper evenly on the steak so it makes a great crust. And when it's time, flip them over and wow, look at that crust. That's going to trap all those juices in there. I'm going to put the steaks close together because I've got a pretty small pan, because next we're going to drop in some butter. And we're going to use a lot of butter, but you use as much as you want, but you're going to need a lot later on. I'll show you why. Once the butter melts, grab some thyme leaves and throw those in each corner of the pan. Let them start sizzling. Put a little garlic paste in at each spot and start lifting your pan and start basting. Don't lift it too far, but you want to get enough of the butter juice. And if you had a longer spoon, which I didn't have, this may help you too, but you're just going to keep basting this and basting it and basting it. You want to stop and check your temperature at some point. Let it sit there for a moment and then rest your arms, because you're going to need to baste a little bit more on that other side. When it's time to take them off, remember, they're going to cook a little more once you cover them up, so take them off a little early. And I always like to put them in the butter on the other side right before I take them off as well. And then I'm going to take a little bit of aluminum foil, cover it on both sides, and let it sit there and rest. And unless you like scrubbing a cast iron skillet, I suggest putting a little water in right now while it's still hot. And you're finished with the cooking portion. Let's see how we did. Oh man, look at the crust on that. I can't wait.
Woolly worm trying to get in the steak.
Hey, woolly worm. Let's cut into the steak. Let me show you down here.
Little pink.
Yeah, we don't want it. We want it more towards the medium rare. But that's what we wanted. That's what we were shooting for. It's actually really hard to get the temperature correct in this butter sear method that we're using, but it cuts like butter. It's probably going to taste like butter.
What kind of steak is it?
These are New York strips. That's a perfect bite. That's smooth as butter. Oh guys, that's the way to do it right there. That's the way to make a steak outside. Forget putting it on a grill, it dries it out. Do that. Put it in a cast iron skillet, baste it with butter and a little bit of thyme, and man, that's the way to do it.
This is a man who loves a good steak.
See, you got a little bit of gray around the edge, but it's pink in the middle. It's so juicy. I'm very happy with that. Bon appetit. All right, let's get your first bite here.
Yum. It's really good.
That was a wimpy little bite right there. Get you a bigger bite than that.
It was a wimpy little bite, but it was really good.
It tastes the butter and the thyme and the garlic basted into there.
Really good.
That's the best steak I've ever had. Sorry, Chuck. We also have the microwave mashed potatoes from Publix. Thanks to Chuck. We met him at Hannah Park, and we've gotten these things several times since then. They're really good. Time to dive in. I mean, excuse me for talking with my mouth full. My mom did teach me better than that. Every bite is so complex. You wouldn't think it, but every bite has a crunch to it, where that pepper that we put on the outside was seared into the steak, and we have a really good crust there. And then you have all the butter and garlic and thyme flavor right in the middle of it, and then just pure steak flavor in the center of it. It is, I'm just completely blown away. Lynn would tell you I probably watched 25 butter seared cast iron skillet steak YouTube videos to try to figure out the very best one, and I took a little bit from every one of them and made it my own. I don't think I'll ever make a steak any other way than this. Maggie's saying that her plate tastes better than her food does after that. She loved it. She loved the juice too, didn't you, buddy? That was good stuff. You got any more, Mommy?
Nope.
You got any more?
Way.
Okay. All right, now let's clean this up. The trick that I learned was make sure you put a little water in before you let it cool off, and everything should just scrape right off, and you can then put a little bit of oil back on it, and you're ready to go the next time. Not too big of a mess, but maybe a little more than I normally have with all the basting. Over the years, I've learned that cooking at a campsite doesn't have to be all hot dogs, hamburgers, and s'mores. Click on this video here, creamy chicken marsala, and I'll show you how to make an Italian masterpiece at your campsite. Until we see you again, happy tales. Thanks for watching.